It's being framed as a new front in the war. Russian troops and tanks entered into Ukraine, and that's drawn harsh condemnation from the United States. Canada has also denounced what it called provocative military actions in eastern Ukraine. But are strong words enough? Should there be more and broader economic sanctions? And will they punish Russia enough to retreat? So what else can Canada do to respond? Joining me now to answer that question is Ukrainian Ambassador to Canada, Vadim Prystaiko. Mr. Ambassador, good to see you. Just on the information that's coming out, one of the rebel leaders in the east said that there are 3,000 off-duty Russian troops fighting in the eastern part. How credible is that information?
It's very difficult to confirm the particular number, because he's also working, to raise up the morale of his own people fighting with us. At the same time, I'm not talking about only the off-duty soldiers. We captured 10 paratroopers on duty, and also Mr. Putin told that they lost their way 40 kilometers out of Russian border. So there are people fighting, and NATO today provided the information about more than 1,000 people, Russian regular troops fighting in Ukraine.
Okay. Today, your Prime Minister, Arseniy Yatsenyuk, called for the EU, Canada, G7 to freeze remaining Russian assets until troops withdraw. What is it specifically do you think that can do, and how broad would that be?
I understand that Prime Minister is trying to, to resolve at least to influence before it's too late. Because what we see now that we're opening up more and more fronts. That's the third front, as you mentioned already, and that's the last things we can do before we will really have to engage in real fighting. And this fight the flame will go over Ukraine to Europe, to our neighbors.
Right. Now, our Foreign Minister John Baird, who's in Croatia, spoke over the phone today at a teleconference, and he talked about what Canada can do. Let's have a listen to what he had to say.
I think the one thing that has been as disappointing as Russians' provocative military actions in eastern Ukraine has been the fact that they have not been prepared to deal honestly with the measures they've taken with the West. And that is even a deeper diplomatic provocation, which obviously is of great concern to Canada.
All right, great concern to Canada. He's said that Canada will go with its allies to do more. So beyond economic sanctions, what more can the West do?
We're now at the point when we were receiving some assistance, including non-kinetic, as they call it, non-lethal equipment from Canada as well. We're coming now to the point when we really need the military equipment and training and intelligence, like the satellite images. And this is the point when Russia is not shying away from giving the same assistance to rebels. They are supplying with the tanks, with anti-aircraft missiles, but all the nations around the globe are very careful. So
you've made that request before for military supplies.
We did.
But the answer has been no.
So far, no.
So do you think
that this one...
You think this might make a difference to
I hope so, yes.
Right, because in part, we look at this, and the argument being made partly by John Baird, Samantha Power, the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations today, is that Russia has not told the truth about their involvement here. So you have new evidence. So to what extent do you think that getting more military supplies, how will that change the conflict?
No, at the same time, when I'm talking about the military supplies, I don't want you to understand that we are going to kill, and that's what we're just pursuing. We started in Minsk, and the same day our president was talking with the president of Russia. On the other hand, they sent more troops in Ukraine. So we almost exhausted these negotiations, the possibilities.
I guess what I'm trying to say is that that goal here is to get Russia to withdraw, to stop material support for the rebels. I'm not sure how more military supplies and access to the intelligence accomplishes that.
When they have such equipment as, for example, the anti-aircraft missile, which took off the 18 Ukrainian planes, that's serious stuff. That's the fighter jets, and no miner can operate them. We're talking about people equipped and people trained by Russia and financed and sent more and more mercenaries. We believe that if they stop, the negotiation positions of rebels were much more softer. And we agree. Again, we told them that the border is open. Please go back home to all the mercenaries and regular troops.
Okay. One last question for you. Sir. We learned today that CF-18 supplied by Canada will start patrolling the area around the Baltic states and on the Russian border. There are more joint operations involving the United States. Does that have an impact, do you think, in Russia's thinking?
Not So far we see nothing from Russia that Russia will consider that this is threatening or that will stop them. We are not member of NATO. Unfortunately, we can't rely on the support of allies.
Okay.
We're trying to get there where we are not allowed to.
All right. Ambassador Prystaiko, thank you very much for coming in again today.
Thank you.